Hello everyone, welcome to this maths video, and today we're going to go through a higher tier paper. So this is a walkthrough. We're going through the first half of the paper today, and we'll go through the second half in the next video. Right, so we're doing questions 1 to 10, so let's begin. Going past all the advice, we've got the formula sheet. So let's get to question 1. So it's 21 questions, we'll do the first 10 here. So question 1, work out the value of 56 squared plus square root of 983 divided by 42.6 minus 28.9. So put that in your calculator and then write down all the figures in your calculator display. So if you put that in your calculator, you should get 231.1936373. So you have to write down all the figures on your calculator display. So that's quite simple. All you need to do here is put it in your calculator. You could do 56 squared plus square root 983 and then divide that by the other one, but simplest just to put it in your calculator. So part 2, give your answer to part A to correct the two significant figures. So all you need to do, look at the third digit. Is it above or below 5? It's below 5, so we don't round up. So we round down, so it's going to be 230, and that's our answer. So that's the answers for question 1. So we've got 3 marks already. So let's go on to question 2. So this question's a 2-mark question, so pretty easy. The total cost of 8 calculators of the same type is £62.80p. Work out the cost of 12 of these calculators. So all we need to do here is work out the cost of one calculator, then multiply it by 12 to find out the cost of 12. So we can state the information we already know. So we know that 8 equals 62.80. So then what we can do is we can work out 1. So then what we need to do is 62 divided by 8, which gives us one calculator equals £7.85. So, and then what we do is we go 12 equals, so then we multiply 12 times 7.85, and that gives us a total answer of 94.2 for a calculator. So we need to write it as £94.20p. So that's our answer. So answer is 94.20, and they already write the pound sign for us. So that's question 2, and that's 2 more marks. So let's go on to question 3. Question 3. Steve goes on a cycle ride. He cycles a distance of 40 kilometers in 2 hours and 15 minutes. Work out his average speed in kilometers per hour. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number, so that's important. Draw a little line under that, just so we remember whole number, nearest whole number, and in kilometers per hour. So step 1 is we're going to write out the formula. So we should know that speed equals distance divided by time, okay? But we want it in kilometers per hour, and we've got 2 hours and 15 minutes. So what we need to do is put 2 hours 15 min equals 2.25 hours, okay? And yeah, so once we know that, we can put the numbers into the equation. So we're going to have speed equals distance, which is 40, divided by 2.25, which gives us an answer of 17.777 kilometers per hour, and we need it to the nearest whole number, so the answer is going to be 18 kilometers per hour, and that's pretty simple. I quite like these questions, the speed. So that's our answer for part 1. So let's go to part 2. Remember, you can try these all by yourself before we start. Okay, so Steve's salary is $28,500. He gets in salary increase of 2.4%. So work out Steve's salary after the increase. So What I do here is we can write out that 28,500 equals 100% of his salary, but his new salary is going to be 102.4%. So we can work out 1% by dividing it by 100, which gives us 285. 1% equals 285. Then we can multiply that by, so what we can put is 285 times 102.4, which will give us our answer of, so just stick this into your calculator, and you will get $29,184. Okay, that is the final answer for this question. Great job, you got that right. So we'll go on to the final part of this question now. Again, try this yourself if you know what to do, but if not, I'll go through it with you. Okay, so Nalini gets a salary increase of 3%. Her salary increase is $702. Work out Nalini's salary before the increase. So we know that it's increased by 3%, so let's just state what we already know. 3% equals $702. Sorry, 702. So then if we divide that by 3, we can figure out that 1%, so 702 divided by 3 equals 234. And then if we multiply that by 100, we can work out 100%, which is going to 100% is the original value. So we work out that her original salary was $23,400, and that one's probably the easiest one of this section. You just need to understand what to do. 3% is that, and then we can work out 1%, and then we can work out 100%. It's quite simple, really. So look, that's another 9 marks. So we've done the first 3 questions. We can go on to the next one now. Oh, we've got a graphs question next. So question 4, we've got some shapes on a graph. So part A, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape B. So if we take a look, how do we get shape A to shape B? What we do is we're going to have a reflection, and it looks like from here we're going to have a reflection on the line here. So I'll make a line here. Gonna make a line. So if you look, see the line here. This is 2 blocks away here. This is 2 blocks away, so it's they're even amounts away. So it's like a mirror. And this line, so 1 mark. So this question's worth 2 marks. What we need to do is state 2 things. First of all, we need to state that a reflection, and then we need to state where the line was. So say reflection on the line. So the line is x equals. Let's have a look at the answer. So x equals 6. X equals 6. Okay. So then part B. So we're going to have to do a rotations here. You could use what's it called, paper for this, but there's an easier method. So we need to find out the point. So it's going to be 4, 0. So let's just draw that in. You know what? I'm going to use. Let's go a bit further up. So reflect it. Okay, let's go. So 4, 0. So 4, 0 is right here. And we want to reflect shape A 180 degrees. So that means we're going to go around that way because it's positive. So we can make a hook method. So we go up 2, and we don't even have to go left or right here. So it's really simple. So what we need to do is go this way. That's 90 degrees. And this way, which is 180 degrees. So we know that one of the points are going to be here. This is 1 point. And this is the mirror point. So then the other point is going to be here, because let's just say we're making a hook again. So we're going to go 2 up, 3 to the left. So we're going to go 2 down, 3 to the right, so the opposite. So then so basically we're just drawing a reflection here now. So yeah, that's this one done. Okay. So then you make sure you draw in the lines. And I don't think it's asked us to label it anything, so we can just leave it like that. Okay, so let's move on now from the graph question. So that's 4 more marks. So here is a biased 5-sided spinner. Jack spins the spinner once. The table shows the information about the probabilities that the spinner lands on red, on blue, on black, on white, or on green. Work out the probability that the spinner lands on red. So probability, okay, so the probability of anything has to equal 1. So it always equals 1. So if we know that, the probability of all these colours, so landing on any of these colours, equals 1. So we know that 1 equals, and then we can add all the x's together. So we've got x, okay, plus 2x, plus 3x, plus x plus x. I hope you see where I'm coming from. We've got x here, 2x, 3x. So these are all the different things that can happen. So we're adding all the probabilities together. So we're going to get 1 equals, so 8x. So then what we can do is work out 1x, which is red. So this is the whole point of the question. We're going to have x equals 1/8, and that is the probability of it landing on red. So if we spin this spinner, the probability of it landing on red is 1/8, and that is the answer to part 1. So let's move on now to part 2. So Malia spins the spinner 200 times. Work out then estimate for the number of times the spinner lands on black. So this is 2 marks. So we know that x equals 1/8. Black is 3x. So we know that black is going to be, so let's just write 3x equals 3/8. So then to find out the amount of times, we need to do 3/8 times 200, which gives us an answer of 75 times. That's the answer for this question. Great job if you've got that right. So let's move on to the next question. Halfway through now this video, so we've got 6a. Factorize m squared plus 7m. So what we need to do here is look for a common factor. So we've got m squared and 7m. The only thing that these two share is m. So what we're going to do is take our m and put it outside the brackets. Then what we can do is make sure the inside, so what we're going to do is this. So if we multiply these brackets out, we're going to get this again. So it's a good way to check your answer. So m times m is m squared, m times 7 is 7m. Okay, so you need to look for a common factor and then just take it off these two and put it outside some brackets, and that's the answer for that one. So now let's look at another one. So we've got 7 and then bracket x plus 3 equals 5x minus 4. Work out x. That's the question. Solve it. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to expand the brackets on the left to get 7x plus 21. And we know that equals 5x minus 4. So then what we're going to do is combine, put the same terms on the same side. So we're going to have 7x minus 5x equals minus 4 minus 21. So then we can combine like terms. So we're going to have 2x equals negative 25. Then we can find out that x, which is what we're looking for here, x equals negative 12.5. And that's our answer. So x equals negative 12.5. And then we can put that back into the equation to find out if it works, and it does. That's our answer. So let's go on to the next part. So part 3. So this is an expand and simplify question. So this is some double brackets, so let's just write it out. So the method we're going to use here is FOIL, which stands for first, inner, outer, last, which is how we multiply these things. Okay, so this is actually quite simple. Just write it out. So what we need to do is multiply y by y, which will give us y squared. Or I'm just going to put y2. Okay, So then what we need to do is do y times -4, which gives us minus 4y. Then what we need to do is so we've done first, so first inner, then we need to do outer, so outer last. So what we need to do is do plus 5 times 9, so we're going to do positive 9y. And finally we need to do positive 9 times -4, which will give us negative 36. So then what we can do is combine all of the like terms. So we're going to have y squared plus, so we're going to add a 9y to -4y, which will give us 5y minus 36, and that is our answer. Okay, next one. Simplify 4e cubed f squared to the power of 3. So what we need to, when you have some indices to it, a power of something, you multiply. So what we're going to do, well, first of all, we'll just do the 4, which we just do as 4 cubed anyway. So 4 cubed. So we're going to do this as 3 different problems here. 4 cubed, and then we're just going to put them next to each other. So then we've got e cubed, and then we have to cube that as well. So e cubed times 3, because we're multiplying. And then we've also got f to the power of 2. And what we have to do is multiply that by 3 as well, because we're cubing the whole thing. So that will give us 4 cubed would give us 64. So e to the power of 3 times 3 will give us e to the power of 9. Let's just do e to the power of 9. And then f to the power of 2 times 3 will give us f to the power of 6. And our answer is 64 e to the power of 9 f to the power of 6. And that is it for this question. That's another 8 marks. So let's move on to question 7. So got a triangle here. This is a really easy question. All you need to know for the so all you need to know for this is Pythagoras' theorem. So we can first label these sides if you want. So we're going to have a here. So C is the hypotenuse, and then we're going to have B here. So I'm just labeling the sides A, B, and C. So calculate the length HJ. Give your answer correct as 3 significant figures. So Pythagoras' theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay. So if we rearrange that, because we've already got c, we're trying to work out b. What we get is b squared equals. Sorry, it looked a bit confusing with the up arrows, but I don't have squaring on this computer. So we've got b squared equals c squared minus a squared, and then all we need to do now is put the numbers in the equation. So we're going to have b squared equals c squared, so we're going to do 16.2, and then we'll just multiply it by itself. 16.2. Okay, then what we need to do is minus from that 11.8 times 11.8. So 11.8 times 11.8. 11.8. So that will give us b squared equals, so b squared equals 16 squared minus 11.8 squared. That gives us 123.2. And are we done? No, there's no way that this is 123.2. That makes no sense. And that is b squared. So what we need to do is work out b by square rooting 123. So just put the square root button on your calculator with 123.2 in it, and then that will give us our final answer, which is 11 point, and we need to do 3 significant figures. So it's actually 11.09 and goes on, but we're going to do it 11.1. So our answer is 11.1 centimeters. Great job if you got that one right. So now we're on to question 8. That's another 3 marks, by the way. Been quite simple so far. So we've got an inequality here. We've got -3 is less than x, plus 4, which is less than 9. So what we need to do here is get x isolated. So what we can do is, so just treat this as an equation, really. So what we're going to, I'll just write this as -3 equals, okay, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to put -3. And what we need to do is move the +4 to the -3. So to do that, all we need to do is do -4, because you have to do the opposite sign to cancel it out on the other side. So we're going to have -4 on there. And then we'll put the, and then we're going to have x in the middle. Now it's isolated, so we're getting where we want. Then on the other side, we've got 9. But we also need to do the 4 to the other sides as well. So we have to do -4. And what we're going to get is -7 is less than x, and x is less than 9. So we know that x is in the range -7 to 9, but it can't be either -7 or 9. So part B, on the number line, represent -2 is less than y, which is less than or equal to 5. So first of all, we need to draw this out. So -2 is less than y. So y is greater than -2, but it cannot be -2. So we do a white circle with no colouring in to show that it's not included. So then what we need to do is draw a line all the way up to the next point, which is 5. But this part is different because it can be 5. So what we need to do is draw a circle, but we need to colour it in as well. Okay. Usually we'll colour this in black. So that shows that it can be 5, but it can't be -2, and it can be anywhere in this. So that's our answer. That's another 2 marks, another 4 marks for this question. Let's move on to question 9. This is about standard form. So write 82 million in standard form. So what we need to do is just move the decimal place 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So 7 times to the left. So what we're going to do is put 8.2 times 10. And because we're moving it 7 times to the left, we do 10 to the power of 7. Okay, and that is our answer for that one. That's really simple. It's just 1 mark there. So next part. Write 2.9 times 10 to the -5 as an ordinary number. So for these types of questions, what I like to do is, so we know this is going to be a small number because it's negative. So we're going to put 0.0000. And so I'm going to write 4 zeros. So I'm going to write 1 0 less than the number on 10. Then the next number, I'm going to write our first digit, and then I'm going to write the next digit. So that's how I do those quickly. So I just see that it's -5, so I write 4 zeros and then write the numbers out. So that's the answer for that one. Okay, so now let's go on to the final part of this question, which is worth 2 marks. So Jupiter has a mass of 1.898 times 10 to the 27th power kilograms. Mercury has a mass of 3.285 times 10 to 23 kilograms. The mass of Jupiter is K times the mass of Mercury. Work out the value of K. Give your answer to correct as 2 significant figures. So all you need to do is find out how many times Jupiter is bigger than Mercury. So what we need to do is just divide them by each other. So all we can do is put them in brackets. Put them in brackets like this and into our calculator, and that will give us our answer. So you can put this into your calculator and find out the answer and see if you get the right thing. So what you should get is that equals 5,800 times bigger. So Jupiter is 5,800 times bigger than Mercury. Okay, so let's move on to the next question now. So the final question, question 10. So the table shows information about the weight of 60 apples. Write down the modal class. So the modal class is the most often. So the modal class here is, well, we can clearly see that 164, which is less than W, which is less than or equal to 168. So that class has 20 apples. So that's the most. So we could write down our answer as 164 is less than W, which is less than, or I'm just going to put a less than sign because I do not have that. So, which is less than or equal to 164, but you would, sorry, 168, but you would be expected to put the less than or equal sign there. And that's all you need to do to get that mark. So let's go down to part 2. Work out an estimate for the total weight of 60 apples. So that's 3 marks. So what we need to do here is do midpoint of the class times frequency, and then just add them all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, how many different classes have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 classes. So we're going to have 6 different brackets. So now we can fill them in. Okay. So bracket number 1, midpoint of 160 and 164 is 162. So 162 times frequency is 12. The next one is 166 times 20. Hopefully we'll have enough room here. So we've got 170 as the midpoint in the next one, and that's times 14. Then the next one will be 174, and you can notice it's going up by 4s every time, times by 7. Probably going to run out of room. Just go over the page. Okay, and then we've got the next one, which is going to be 178, and then we're going to multiply that by 4. Then the last one, what we need to do is 182 times 3, and then that is all equal to, so just put that in your calculator. Make sure you use the brackets, even though they'll just stop any errors in case you make any. So we've got, the answer is 10,120 grams, and that is the final answer. So that's 3 more marks there. So next part, so it's going to be a cumulative frequency table and a graph, I'm assuming. So yep, graph. So what we need to do is work out the cumulative frequency. So what we need to do first of all is, let's go up. So let's just have a look at how it goes. It goes 12, 20, 14. Okay, 12, 20, 14. So it's going to go. So the first one is 12 because there's 12 apples there. So then the next one, we've got 12 and then we've got 20. So we add them together to get 32. So we've had 32 apples so far. And we know that it's going to end up as 60 because we're looking at 60 apples. So 32. Okay. Then the next one is going to be add 14. So we're going to get 46. So 46. And then the next one. Okay. So what we're doing here is adding 7 because that's the next frequency. And then we're going to have to add 4 more. Okay, and that's the table done. Okay, that's the table. And now we're going to have to use these values to plot in our graph. So I've written these values down, so just make sure you have a quick look at them before we move on. Because, yeah, so let's go down. So let's plot the graph. So what we need to do is, first of all, so the first one is 164. We need to look at the top of the upper bound. So for the first one, the upper bound is 164, and it will go up from 4 from there. So that's all we need to know. And we've got the other values I've written down. So we've got 164, which is 161, 162, 163, 164, which is here. And then the cumulative frequency, which is on the y-axis, is 12. So what we need to do is go up to 12. So we're going to have, so this is 5, because that's 15. So we need to go down. 12 is here. So that's 0.1 on the graph. Next point on the graph. So it's going to be plus, so it's going to be 168. So we're going to go 165, 166, 167, 168 is here. And the cumulative frequency is 32. So this is not that hard, really. Just need to look at the upper bound and the frequencies. So then the next one is 46 on the cumulative frequency, and it's going to be 4 over. So 100 and the next one is 172. 71, 172, just before this one, and it is 46 cumulative frequency. So right there, that's the next part of the graph. Okay, so then we've got 3 more points to plot, which are going to be a lot closer together. So we're going to go 4 more up. So we're going from 172 to 176, which is going to be right here. And that's going up to 53. 53. Okay, then the next one from 100, so next one is 180. Yep, so from 176 to 180, which is going to be 57. So it's going to be 59, 58, 57 here. Oh, sorry about that point. So then the last one is going to be 184, which is 2 before the end. And then we're going to go to 60. So that's that. So now we can draw in the curve. I'm not going to do a curve because it's impossible on this computer. I'm just going to draw straight lines between them. Okay. But you need to draw a curve when you do this normally. Okay. So make sure you look at the scales, that's important. See, on this one, it goes up by, so it's 1 value every 1 square, but on this one, 2 squares is 1 value. Okay, so let's continue this question. Oh, why did I erase that? Okay, so I've just completely erased the graph which we need for this question, but, okay, you know what, I've got it back now. So, what we need to do is work out the interquartile range. So for the interquartile range, we need to work out, so I'm going to do it up here because I can't really move. So we're going to go for Q3 minus Q1 equals the interquartile range. Okay, so Q3 is 75 up, is 75% up. So what we can do here is work out, so 75% of 60. So 75% of 60, so we can do 60 times 0.75. That will give us 45. So we go from 45 to find the interquartile Q3. So we're going to go here, okay, and then we're going to go down, which is giving us 171.5. So let's just write that in here. Q3 is 171.5. So now let's work out let's work out Q1. So Q1 is going to be 25%. So we're going to do 60 times 0.25, which gives us 15. So let's work from 15. Let's work across 15, go down. That'll give us 164.5. So Q1 equals 164.5. Okay, and then what we need to do is 171.5 minus 164.5, and that gives us an answer of 7, and that is correct. So for these type of questions, there's a range of answers you can have. For this one, it's 6 to 8. So the actual answer is 7, and we got it bang on here. But if you get anything from 6 to 8, you'll get the answer right here. Right. So I believe that is it for this video. Hope this video was useful. If you have any corrections, please just put them in the comments, or if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.